Did Corey go to college to become a life coach?
Nope. Nobody is more surprised that I'm a life coach than me. Like when I was in college, I didn't even know what a life coach was. I knew what Tony Robbins was. He was a motivational speaker. People like Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. People like that was always under the guise of motivation. And one of the things that I learned when I was in Tony World, as we called it, when I was a platinum partner, is that he didn't like being known as a motivational speaker. He says, I'm a coach. And as the late great Vince Lombardi said, who the NFL Super Bowl trophy is named after, he said coaching is teaching. And so when I wrote about this in my second book, shameless plug, Mastering Yourself, that when I was in sixth grade, I had a friend of mine, he had this quote that was written on his folder, and it said, I remember this like it was yesterday, man. He said, there's a point at which you can only see so far. When you reach that point, you can see further. Live one day at a time and make it a masterpiece. And I wrote that down. I don't know, and I had it written down on my folder. I was like, "Where'd you get that?" He's like, "I got it from my dad." And I memorized that for like that was like 40 years ago. 4 decades ago, I memorized that quote when I was in sixth grade. So that just started. I was like a hobby. It was, and over the years, I collected a lot of different quotes. And then when I got into my teenage years and my early 20s, I really started studying self help, personal development, because I wanted to be more successful. And as I became more successful and I grew my business that I had in the real estate and mortgage industry, then I was trying to teach all these things to my sales agents and my mortgage brokers that worked for me. And so I was teaching them all the mindset things. And then obviously the stuff that I learned about relationships because I had people working for me that were having problems with the girls they were dating. I had couples that worked for me that were having problems in their marriage. And they would come to me and ask for advice. And it's like I would teach the stuff that I had learned that worked in my own life, and people would get the same results. And so I kind of always, I remember one time when this is like when I was working with Jennifer in the 90s, I was working for a general contractor. There was something wrong with our printer. And so this dude came in, started working on it, and like I just wanted my printer fixed. And then like within 5 minutes, the guy's like telling me his whole story. He's telling me about his problems with his wife and his life and all these other things. And I'm just thinking, just please fix the copier, get the hell out of here. But it's just whenever I got around people, they would just start telling me intimate, personal things, and I'm a complete stranger. And so, whatever reason, that was kind of like one of my gifts. And so, what started out as a hobby to help myself, and then later to help my employees, so they could, because if they were more productive and they closed more deals, they'd make more money. The company, and obviously myself, and my partners would make more money. So it was good for everybody. And I wrote about this extensively in Mastering Yourself. It's like I had a moment where I was the market had completely changed in real estate. And I was thinking, if I'm going to stay in real estate, I got to do something completely different because the market's different. Then I thought, well, if I had to start all over, would I want to do real estate or would I want to do something else? And the first thing that popped in mind was mentoring and coaching and helping people. And that's what I decided to do. So it's kind of like my purpose chose me or found me. It all started with that quote that I memorized 4 decades ago on my friend his folder. And so here I am 40 years later, I'm a life coach. But yet my background is engineering. I'm a builder. I could build anything I wanted to, but I don't even really do that stuff anymore other than when I'm doing renovations and things of that nature. But it's like your purpose really kind of does choose you, the things you're passionate about. That's why Steve Jobs said you got to follow your heart, your curiosity, and your intuition because they somehow already know what you want to become.